Hi everyone, good day. So we'll be looking at lists today, just like I had mentioned in our previous class. So just to have a brief recap of what we talked about and what we did last time around. Last time around we looked at some tags that are commonly used in HTML. We talked about headings. We talked about, talked about how white space is collapsed in HTML. We talked about how to use the different levels of headings. We also talked about the paragraphs, how to structure your headings and paragraphs, how to use the line break element. Then we also looked into how to use the pre element, which lets you display your text exactly how you wrote it in your HTML file. Then at the end of our class, we were able to replicate this simple HTML page here. So I'm hoping that everyone was able to do this. Everyone was able to achieve these results because we all did it together, step by step, and we got this right. So I'm hoping that everyone was able to get the same results, and if you're having any difficulties, feel free to reach out to me so we can look at it together. Don't forget to close your tags and to give indentation in your coding. What I mean by indentation is this little space here so that it's clear and easy to read. It's not like if they're all on the same line, it will not be easy, it will not work, it will work, but then it's easier to read when you indent. So this one is inside this one, so we give it a space before I write it. This type 2 is inside the head, so we give another space before I write it, just so that it's easy to read and it's easy to follow along when someone looks at your code, and even for you yourself when you are trying to debug and find out what is wrong and why it's not working as it should. So having said that, we will be looking at what we'll be discussing today. We'll be looking at lists. So working with lists. So here it says now let's turn our attention to lists. Lists are everywhere in life, from your shopping list to the list of directions you subconsciously follow to get to your house every day. Lists are everywhere on the web too, and we've got 3 different types to worry about. So basically what this is saying is that lists is definitely an unavoidable part of every human being's life. You use lists to do everything, from your routine every day to your direction back home to shopping, whatever it is that you do, list is definitely part of it one way or the other, whether subconsciously or consciously. So in HTML we also have our list, and there are 3 major types of lists. First one is unordered lists. So we have unordered lists, then we have the ordered lists, then we have the definition list. Great, so this is the definition list. So these are the 3 main types of lists we have in HTML. So today we are going to be looking at all 3 of them, starting with the unordered list. So unordered lists use the UL element, right? The unordered list element. That's what it stands for. UL stands for unordered list. And LI element. An unordered list starts with the UL tag. Each list item starts with the LI tag. The list items will be marked with bullet points, small black circles by default. So basically, when we create an unordered list, this is what it looks like. It started with the bullet points. I'm sure we all know what bullet points are, but in case you don't know, this is what they are. This is what they look like. And the tag we use to create an ordered list is called the UL tag. So this is the tag here, UL tag. But if you notice, there's also another tag in play here, and that tag is the LI tag. And that tag is used for every individual list item, right? So all of them are in the UL tag, but for each item we use the LI tag. So let's go ahead and practicalize this in HTML and see what it actually looks like, so that we'll have a feel of it. Okay, so go to our text editor, and let's create a new file, and let's select HTML down here. So click on plain text, select HTML, and let's start coding. So we all know the first thing to write, right? Our doc type declaration. So let's go ahead and write that. Doc type. Then go ahead and write the root of our HTML document, which is just the HTML tag, and close it. Come back to the middle and press enter. Then you type the head. Then inside it you put your title. So our title today will be working with lists. So now we go to the body of our document, and this is where the main thing happens. So in the body of our document now is where we're going to have our list. But I think before we go into lists, there's something I want to show us. Right, there's something I want to show us today before we go into lists, and that is called comments. So as you can see now, I'm typing something and the color seems to be a bit funny. All the colors have simply gone to a very bland grayish type of color. I'll explain what that means in a bit. So what I'm basically doing right now, well, what I just did was to write the comment. Yeah, that's a comment. So unlike how comments work in our typical social media, where we have comments a lot, in HTML, or in coding rather, comment works a bit differently. So what is the purpose of comments? Comments are simply there for you to tell yourself, to write notes basically, to give notes to yourself or to another developer that is going to check out your code. Because a lot of times you're not working alone. So, and you have thousands and thousands of, or hundreds and hundreds of lines of code depending on the scale of your project. You cannot expect yourself to remember everything. At some point you forgot what you were trying to do at some certain parts of the code. So that's why you add comments. You add comments to remind yourself, okay, here, okay, I was doing so and so thing, this is what I was doing, what I was trying to avoid, and so I was trying to get. Usually it's also very important as you are learning to write comments, because a lot of times you try to do something in the future, realize that you cannot do it. So you have to revert back to a code where you did it before and you check the comments. Okay, this is where I did the list. Okay, let me see how I did the list here. So that's the use of comments. Your browser does not read or display any of the thing here. From this to this, the browser completely ignores it. It doesn't display it. It doesn't read it. So this is not going to show on your browser at all. So it's just for you, the developer, to see, okay, this is what I did here, this is what I was trying to do here. So it's to leave notes to yourself. It can be as long as you want it to be. It can be one line, it can be multiple lines. And in case other developers who are working with you on a certain project, they know, okay, this is what he did here. So that's the use of comments, right? And this is how you write the left angle bracket, then your exclamation mark, then dash dash, write a comment, then to close it, write this. So basically this is how comments work in HTML. So I'm writing this comment now because this might be a bit long by the time we are done. So I just want us to see how comments work, and everybody will be able to say, okay, this is what we did here, this is what we did here. So first of all, let's create a list. So we've talked about unordered list, so let's go ahead and create an unordered list. So let's do first for each one. Let's say list. And right below it, let's put then we'll say unordered list. Then we'll write, don't forget how we write an unordered list. We start with the UL tag, the UL opening tag. So after writing the UL tag, opening tag, let's close it immediately. Then come back to the middle of it and press enter. Now that you are inside the UL tag, for every list item you want to use the li tag, right? So go ahead and write this. So let's go ahead and just list HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, right? HTML, write another li, CSS, then another one, then we'll say JavaScript, right? So this is an unordered list. This is how to write it in your code. So we have to save this and see what it looks like in our browser. So let me quickly save this as list. Press enter. Then I'll open this in our browser. Just go ahead and go to where you saved it, then open it from there. I don't want to do that, so I'll just edit this URL here, or rather the file path, type in the name of what we just created. Voila, here it is. So perfect. You can see that, okay, it might be a bit too small. Let me make it bigger. Great, I believe everyone can see it now. So if you look closely, you see we have the H1, which is list in HTML, is very big and bold. We use the largest heading. Then we have the H2 here for unordered list. Then underneath it we have HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So that's basically how unordered lists work. They start with this bullet points, right? We use unordered lists most of the time when you are just writing a list that don't have to come sequentially. Take for example, they ask you to list 5 fruits. There is no order to that. You can start with apple, banana, mango. You can start with orange, watermelon, pear. You can start with avocado, kiwi. There's no order to it, right? But on the other hand, they say, let's say you are asked to make a recipe or write out a recipe, then you have to list it because you cannot put, for example, just an example, you cannot put your Maggi in the food when you've not yet put the food inside the pot or something. So you have to make it sequentially. So you have to be a step 1, there's 2, there's 3, there's 4. Or let's say you want to make a list of your routine in a day. Okay, first thing you do when you wake up, you have your bath, you brush your teeth, you eat, you pray, you read, you listen to a podcast, then you start coding. That's a sequential list of things that have to happen one by one, right? So that one, we will now have to use another type of list, which is the ordered list. But for an ordered list, they are majorly for things that don't have to come sequentially. It's just a list. The order does not matter. Whether this comes first, this comes second, this comes last. Now I can write JavaScript first, JavaScript, CSS, HTML. I can write CSS, JavaScript, HTML. It doesn't matter, right? So let's go ahead and look at the second type of lists that we have, which is the ordered list. So the ordered list is on the same way we write it. The only difference is that instead of using the UL tag, we use the OL tag. Now, the OL tag is what we use for ordered lists. Don't forget, just like the name implies, ordered list OL tag, unordered list UL tag. Now, the ordered list doesn't show bullet points. It shows numbers or alphabets or whatever you might want to split, right? So, numbers. Let's just go ahead and try it out, right? To see what it will look like. Go to our text editor. So now let's write the comments here so that we know what we did. Let's do this and type out ordered list. Then now we are going to do the unordered list. So let's just write the comment. Sorry, mistake. This is supposed to be the ordered list down. So I'll just copy it, paste it, then add the UN here. So yeah, unordered list, then ordered list. Alright? So create our H2. Type out ordered list. Okay, I see a mistake somewhere. Good. So now we write our ordered list. So I don't know, what should we write? What do we write that captures the idea of an ordered list? Okay, let's say we are asked to write let's just say the 3 most important people in the country, right? For example, of course, that has to be sequentially, right? They are the 3 most important people in the country. Let's use Nigeria as an example. Let's say that's the list we are trying to write. So, of course, the first person will be the president. President, then we have probably the vice president, then I believe next in line should be the Senate president, because there's no longer office of first lady, so it should be the Senate president. Great, so this is an ordered list, right? So let's go ahead and save that up and see what it looks like in the browser. So if we refresh here, we have it. Great, so we have ordered list and see 1, 2, 3 presidents, vice president, senate president. So that's just an example of how ordered list and unordered lists work, right? But when it comes to lists, we all know lists are usually not always straightforward, right? What we mean is that sometimes when it comes to lists, there are more variables to it. So let's say, for example, we don't want our list to start from number 1 and we want it to start from number 4 instead. So instead of 1, 2, 3, just like the example here, we have 4, 5, 6. And we want it to start from 4, 5, 6. All we have to do is to add this attribute called stats. Now you might be confused, okay, what's going on here? Up until this point, we've only looked at tags, the content, the opening tag, the closing tag, or standalone tags. So what is this attribute? Okay, in HTML, we have something called attributes also. And what are attributes? Attributes are used to add certain functionalities to tags. That's basically what they are used for. So there are different types of attributes, right? And we'll talk about them more further later on. But just to have a brief and a summarized understanding of what an attribute is, it's basically adding a functionality to an element. That's what it does. So you either use it to identify an element, or use it to make an element do something, or add a certain functionality to an element. That's basically what attributes do. So today we're going to be using the start attribute, just like you saw here. And in the start attribute, we get to specify which number we want the list to start from. So if I come to this OL, I'll go inside the opening tag, immediately after the tag name. Just hit space twice so that you can clearly see that I'm inside the opening tag of the unordered list. Sorry, the ordered list. And I'll type start. Let me type it out so that you can see. It starts, then equal to, then shifts, and you put your quotation marks, double quotes. And inside it you specify the number. So let's say 4. That's basically how you do it. Then you save. Then you come to your browser, and refresh. Now you can see that this no longer starts at 1, it starts at 4, 5, 6. Let's say I want it to start at 7. All I have to do is to change this to 7. So you see that this is actually getting a bit fun, right? I'm beginning to do things. I'm beginning to see that, okay, it's not just writing text and displaying text. There's a bit of logic to it too, right? We're adding functionalities now. And there's more to come, so let's keep going. So back to our documents, we've seen how to decide what number we want our list to start from. Then now we can see the third type of list. Third type of list we have is what we call the definition list. And the definition list is typically used when you want to describe or define something, right? So in the definition list, instead of just 2, just like in the unordered list, we had UL and LI tags. In ordered list, we had OL and LI tag. While in the definition list, we have 3 tags. We have DL, we have DT, and we have DD. The DL tag is description list, and the DT tag is definition term, while the DD tag rather is the definition of the term, right? So that's basically what it means. So the DD tag is used to describe a term or name in a description list. The DD tag is used in conjunction with the DL, defines a description list, and DT defines terms or names. Inside the DD tag, you can put paragraphs, line breaks, images, link, list, etc. So basically, this is how we create a definition list. So everything is inside the DL tag, right? Which is the definition list, right? Then each term that is defined is inside a DT tag. That is term being defined. Then the definition is inside a DD tag. That's basically how it works, right? It's not so complicated. It's just nesting tags inside tags. So let's go ahead and try that out. So we have, let's comment it again. We have the definition list. And inside the definition list, we have, let's write our H2 first, which is definition. Then go ahead and create the list. And just add some spacing so we are not confused. So we start with the DL tag, which is which stands for definition list, right? So this is where the definition list actually starts. Sorry, let's do this. DL, close it, come back to the middle, press enter. Now we want to define unordered list, right? So let's write a DT tag, which is the term for the term we want to define. And write unordered list. Then close it. Then underneath it, just indent it so that it's cleaner to read. Write the DD tag. When I say indent it, all I mean is press the tab button. Once you press that, it indents. So DD, what was the definition we gave here? A list of bullet points, right? It's very simple. A list of bullet points. Full stop. Then close that up. Then the next thing we are to write is ordered list. So let me put space so that it's easy to read. The next term is the ordered list, so another DT. Then ordered list. Close that up. Then the definition of ordered list to go here. And what is the definition? An ordered list of points, such as, let's just say, a numbered set of. No, that doesn't go. So I want to simplify this. So let's just say an ordered list of sequential points. So let's go ahead and type that out. Ordered list of points or sequential steps. Close it. Great. So finally we have the last one, which is the DT again, but this one will define the definition list itself. So that up, and we have a list of terms and definitions. Makes sense. So let's just call that, sorry, mistake. Just indent first, and we'll call it go ahead and close that up. Perfect. So now we have our definitions ready. Our list is ready too. So let's go ahead and save that up and view it in our browser. Perfect. So you see that all the answers, all the definitions are indented. Now, even if I go back to our HTML and do this, you see that it still stays indented. That's basically the purpose of using the tag, right? So if you check the page source, you can see that in the code they are on the same line. So it's not because we indented them that made them indented. That's how the definition list tag work. Once you put them in this tag, the browser knows, okay, we're defining this term, so whatever comes in the DD tag should be indented, so that whoever is reading the website will know, okay, this is the definition of this. This is the definition of this, and it's easy to follow along. So let me go back. Sorry. So I just did this so it will be easier for us to read along. So these are basically the three types of lists we have in HTML, and this is the main types of lists that I'll be working with. But just before we round up, there's one more thing I want to talk to us about, which is called nesting list. So when we talk about nesting lists, what we're referring to is simply putting a list inside another list. That's basically what we mean by nesting list. So a nested list is a list within a list. If you ever created a bulleted outline in a word processing document, or you probably use a variety of indentations and bullet point types to denote items that were sub-points of another item in the outline. This is the effect we are going for when we create nested lists. So basically what they're saying is, let's say you have a list, and inside that list there's an item that has a sub-list under it, right? So that's basically what we want to do when using nested lists, right? So you can see this example here. We have item 1 in Roman numerals, item 2, item 3, item 4. Then under item 4, we have item 4.1, item 4.2, item 4.3, then we have item 5. Right? So this is nested list. This is what a nested list look like. Now inside this item 4.1, you can have item 4.1.1, item 4.1.2. So that's basically the idea. So how do you create nested lists? Now after creating, mind you can create nested lists using both ordered lists or unordered lists, right? Well, after creating your ordered list, then you go to the item that you want to make a nested list, then you put another list inside. So let me highlight it here so you can easily see it. So let's say we want to put a list inside item 4. You can clearly see item 4 here. But if you look closely, you notice that the closing li tag is not here, unlike the others. It is down here, right? Mistake, sorry. Okay, let me erase that. Okay, great. So this is it here, and the closing tag is down here, right? So if we want to put a nested list, what we do is that we go and create another list inside a list item. That's basically how you create nested lists. So they come inside this item 4, in between the opening and closing tags, after the contents in between. Just immediately after, then you can create another list here. So I don't know why it keeps doing this, but I hope you understand what I'm trying to show you. This is it. So you can see the nested list just inside the list item. Well, let's go ahead and try it out, right? Since it's not just explanation, let's code it ourselves and see what it looks like. So here we have an ordered list, and let's say we want to create another list inside let's just use the first one. Let's say we want to add first lady, so we'll just press enter immediately after the content. So sorry, let me do this. Press enter, then just press enter one more time, come back up, indent it, then you put your list here. Then so right now we've put a list inside president, right? This list item president, we've put another list inside, and inside that list it has a list item first lady. So let's go ahead and save that, see what it looks like. Okay, let's refresh. Great. So you can see that inside our president now, we have first lady, right? President, first lady. So that's basically how you create nested list, right? But there's one more thing I want to show you before we round up. Let's say we don't want it to be a number, right? We want it to be something else. That's where the type attribute comes in. So all you have to do is write type equal to double quotation marks, then let's put I. So if I go ahead and save this, come back here, refresh, see it's no longer number. It started from 7 before, but now it's I. But this is still 1. So let's say we want to change it to Roman numerals also. All you have to do is come here, right? Okay, in this case, type equal to double quotation marks, let's use small I, and save it. As you can see, that has changed also from 1 to small I. So let's just say we want to have multiple of this, and just copy it and paste it below. So copy. Save that, then reload your list. You can see we have I. And if I want to make another nested list inside first lady, you can go ahead and do that also. Let's say I want it to be U. Okay, save that up, come back here. Great, so you can see that what we have now is a list inside a list that is inside another list. So that's basically how we create nested lists in HTML, right? We just put another list inside your list item. As you can see, I haven't put a UL here inside an OL. So it doesn't matter, as long as they're all lists, you can keep nesting them and nesting them to achieve whatever results you want. So I believe that's all with lists. So that's all with lists. From our next class, we'll talk about fine-tuning your text. This is basically ways to make your text appear differently, like name applies, styling your text to be a bit different from the default behavior. So we've talked about lists. You can go ahead and try a few things with it, practice it so that you get the hang of it. In our next class, we'll be talking about fine-tuning your text. Alright, see you all in the next one.